Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metalopolis. Nice place to go clubbing, I've been told. Kat, have you been there?
Clubbing?
Yeah, you've been clubbing. Out on the town, as it's called. Out drinking. Schmoozing.
Yeah. Maybe still clubbing.
You're a horrible person, Kat. My God. First with the bed flipping, now with the mass murder of tiny, innocent creatures. Ladies and gentlemen, also known for his mass murder of tiny, innocent creatures in this tournament, I bring you ZeNEXYong. He is in the blue trunks. He is playing Protoss to the west of the Metalopolis versus his opponent in the other color of blue, because Nerchio likes to screw with me like that. He's from Team Acer, and he is playing Zerg to the east.
Yeah, indeed. This is pretty good positions for Nerchio as far as the early game is concerned. The later it gets, the more it stabilizes. But Metalopolis, definitely one of the more Zerg favorite maps. There's a lot of things that you can do on Metalopolis. It's a pretty easy third, whereas in Solnaga there were those rocks in between. So even if Nerchio, like for example, wanted to like reinforce from his third, he wouldn't have been able to. But say the exact same thing. If the exact same thing was to happen on Metalopolis, he could easily use the larva at his third expansion to reinforce. As well as saturate his own bases a lot more easily. So a pretty nice Zerg map.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, I've heard a lot of debate recently about the idea of on larger maps actually going hatch first against Protoss, but a lot of people have said that's a pretty bad idea sometimes. Can you explain why it's a terrible idea to go hatch first against Protoss, or would you actually do that if you had the space?
I hatch first against Protoss every time I get a chance.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but it's a terrible idea for most people. I mean, you always run the risk of being cannon rushed. Even if there's a gateway up first, they can still build a cannon. But the more common way to I guess just counter a hatch first is if you're going Nexus first yourself, like Forge Expand, you can just go and drop a few cannons at their base. However, my usual response to that is really weird, and I tend to go for a proxy hatch. And then it's a normal game from there, even if it gets scouted. So it's a little bit more complicated in that sense. I personally hatch first. I don't think you should at home.
There you go, folks. Yeah, don't try this at home. Katz is a trained professional proxy hatcher, so don't try it. You may be injured. It could be horrible for your esteem as well as your ladder points. One way or the other, we've got Nerchio with his usual 4 Zerglings. Going to take good map control right here, give him a nice amount of information, and a Overlord taking the long way around. As always, he'll find his way to the back right here to spot some expansion timing and perhaps into position for some sacrificial play later on. We've got Young with the 2 gas quite early on right here.
Oh wow, Nerchio does find the probe. That was a really nice place to hide a probe by Young.
Oh yeah.
And really interesting too, where Nerchio chose to take his expansion. This really shows skill. Like you can see, Nerchio's timing to transfer the queen is just flawless. He's gonna have this other queen at his main popping out just in time to inject, and this one just is gonna get there just in time to inject as well. So not much of a loss from expanding to the weird position. As his natural expansion might have been a little bit disrupted there by that probe. However, this gives us a little bit of a hint into what he might be thinking about doing, and it's probably going to be 3 hatch again. So he might be playing for that Lucera style, and we'll see if Young adapts and tries to exploit it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Nerchio going for these unusual tricks, and I suppose he's realized that his opponent is no ordinary opponent with that crazy blind attack last time, and I think we can probably say that Nerchio's defense there was not up to the par we would have expected from him, and hold that thought, because that is 4 gateways coming up here on double gas, and I have to wonder if that's actually not an aggressive 4-gate, because I'm just looking at the unit count right here. There is a Stalker and there is a Sentry up as well, so we'll see what he decides to do with that.
No, it's definitely an aggressive 4-gate, I think. He might throw up a fake Nexus if he feels like he's about to get scouted, but I feel like this is sort of a response to maybe not seeing Nerchio's expand. There is the Nexus, oddly enough. It may not be cancelled. I'm really confused.
Well, it looks to me to like a sentry-heavy defensive 4-gate simply on the basis of the amount of gas that he was pulling in, so he could get a ton of sentries. Just let him get that up nice and quick, and perhaps he fears the Ling run-bys from last time, and NerchYong apparently fearing either DTs or some kind of Stargate play, because we've got a Spore Crawler going back down in both mineral lines at the minute.
Yeah, my replay just died.
Yep, and it's okay, because you would have seen a cancel the hatch right there. You can load the replay up in the meantime. It's okay, don't worry, I've got you covered. And NerchYong did manage to cancel that expansion, so it could have been a really long-term fake. Right? That is the possibility that Yong was expecting his opponent to attack, and as such let the Nexus run, and then he knew he would be forced to cancel it anyway. But I don't know, maybe I'm just staring too much into the mind of Yong and eventually going insane in a Cthulhu style right here. In the meantime, NerchYong looking for a surround. Will he be able to get it? No, but he does find himself one sentry. Let's see if he can pick up a second. There's a few trapped in there with that sentry. He might be able to take it. No, he does not. Unfortunately, that's a lot of Lings taken out right there by Yong, who continues now to push forward, and he has no knowledge whatsoever of this hidden expansion. He's got an aggressive pylon coming down. So this is a delayed but sentry-heavy 4-gate with that cancelled Nexus. And I think that's simply in response to the fact that he knows that his opponent really favors Zerglings.
Yeah, that might be it, and I'm all caught up now. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that he cancelled the Nexus. Makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah, you called it, man. You called it. That's Seer-like abilities. Are you
Oh!
Oh, he looks for the surround. Can he get it? Yes, he can. Oh, shut down there, but that's a lot of sentries ripped apart. Drone's being pulled off right here, and those last remaining sentries hold it, but more Zerglings coming in.
To hold here. Or maybe not.
Maybe,
there's some more
maybe.
warpins.
Yeah, that's it. That round of warpins have pretty much sealed his fate right there. GG. Yong is some kind of evil genius, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. He's mean. Like, he's pretty mean.
No kidding. That's crazy, but you called it, man. I'll give you credit for that. That's some crazy foresight that you've got there, but it was a really weird defensive 4-gate into fake delayed Nexus cancel into 4-gate. Whatever the hell that means. Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a little bit strange, but yeah, I was just thinking he didn't see the expansion from NerchYong. He might have thought that NerchYong took the gold or something like that, but yeah, I mean, just that amount of Zerglings by NerchYong also tells him that NerchYong probably doesn't have that much more that he can produce if he has already produced that many Lings, because that means a pretty low drone count and possibly no tech. So I was really looking to see how Yong would try to punish NerchYong for not taking his natural and taking whatever else base he was taking, and it really opens a lot of possibilities. As someone, like, I like expanding to the gold sometimes, and when you do stuff like that, you really need to be ready for 4-gate, DTs, and Stargate play. You survive those 3 things, and then you're good to go.
Well, there you go, folks. You're seeing quite the unconventional piece of ZVP right here, but Yong showing some dominance against NerchYong, and we're thinking maybe in this tournament, I said only 2 Zerg players who could have perhaps beaten him would be Idra or NerchYong. NerchYong is actually getting trashed right here, so we'll see if it can come back. We're going to go to a short commercial break, folks, and when we're back, we'll be bringing you Game 3 from this excellent series in the finals of the TL Open, as brought to you by TeamSpeak 3.